Today, we're going to listen to a true horror story about a man known as Dr. Ramsey. This isn't just a story, it is a terrifying, real-life account of stalking that lasted for 18 months. Even though this narrative is focused, it is 100% real, so I urge you to listen until the very end to see exactly how this nightmare concludes. And if you want to hear more real horror stories like this one, please hit that subscribe button and stay with us. Now, let's get into the story. The innocence of childhood acts as a kind of armor. It blinds you to the sharp edges of the world, making you believe that the sun will always rise and that your home is an impenetrable fortress. But for me, that armor was shattered the summer before my 10th birthday. This isn't a story about ghosts or monsters under the bed. It's a story about a monster who walked in the sunlight, a man who called himself Dr. Ramsey, and the 18 months of terror he inflicted upon my family. It began on an afternoon that was aggressively ordinary. My mother was cooking dinner and realized she was out of tomato sauce. Eager to prove my independence, I volunteered to run to the corner store. It was a short trip, a route I had walked 100 times. The air was thick with the humid warmth of late summer, and I remember the sound of cicadas buzzing in the trees, a sound that, to this day, makes my stomach tighten. I brought the jar of ragu and began the walk home. That was when the atmosphere shifted. A man fell into step beside me. He didn't come from anywhere specific. One moment the sidewalk was empty, and the next he was there. He was utterly nondescript, average height, average build, wearing clothes that rendered him invisible. He looked down at me with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes and said, "Hello there, I'm Dr. Ramsey. Do you know what a pediatrician is?" I clutched the paper bag to my chest, the glass jar pressing against my ribs. "No," I lied. I knew exactly what it was, but my instincts, that primal alarm system we all have, were screaming at me to be silent. He didn't take the hint. He kept walking, matching my pace with a terrifying, practiced ease. "Well," he continued, his voice light and conversational, "I'm a doctor for children. Are your parents looking for a new pediatrician?" I stared straight ahead, walking faster. He effortlessly kept up. "You're almost a big girl," he observed, his eyes scanning me. "What is your name?" I didn't answer. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. "I like your hair." The compliment felt like a physical touch, slimy and unwanted. "I'm on my way to get some suckers for the candy jar in my office. Do you like suckers?" We were nearing my street. Panic began to claw at my throat. I didn't want him to see where I lived, but I was a child, and fear overrides logic. I broke into a sprint, tearing around the corner, my sneakers slapping hard against the pavement. I ran up the back steps of my house, burst into the kitchen, and locked the door behind me, gasping for air. My mother looked up, startled. I didn't tell her the whole truth right away. I just wanted to be safe. I thought I had outrun him. I was wrong. I hadn't outrun him. I had led him straight to us. The escalation was a slow, deliberate burn. It started with a car. A blue Ford Galaxy began cruising past our house, not once a week, but every single day, sometimes twice. The driver would slow to a crawl, and through the glass I would see him, Dr. Ramsey, smiling, waving. At first, my mother tried to rationalize it. "Maybe he takes this route home from work," she suggested, but her voice lacked conviction. Even she could feel the weight of his gaze. Then the phone calls began. Our landline would ring in the evening. My father would answer. Sometimes there was silence, sometimes heavy breathing. Eventually, my father sat me down, his face grave. "Did you talk to that man, the one who followed you?" "No," I insisted, tears stinging my eyes. "I didn't say anything." "Then how?" my father asked, his voice trembling with mixture of fear and rage. "How does he know your name? How does he know your sister's name?" The predator had done his homework. He wasn't just watching, he was learning. He began to leave messages with my brothers, detailing exactly what he wanted to do to me. He described acts of violence so graphic, so depraved, that my parents wouldn't even repeat them to us until we were adults. My father called the police. This was the 1990s, a time before robust anti-stalking laws existed. The officers were sympathetic, but useless. They said, "He hasn't physically harmed anyone yet. We can't arrest a man for driving down a public street. Call us if he tries to break in." "If he tries?" my father roared into the receiver. "You want me to wait until he's inside my house with my children?" Helpless, my father called an old friend, a retired beat cop, who began escorting me to and from school. My world shrank to the size of my living room. No more playing outside, no more walks to the store. The blinds were drawn, the windows locked. We were living in a fortress besieged by a ghost. Denied access to me, Dr. Ramsey's behavior shifted from stalking to psychological warfare. One afternoon, my brothers and I were in the kitchen. My older brother froze, looking out the window toward our detached garage. "There's someone in there," he whispered. Before we could react, the side door of the garage flew open. Dr. Ramsey bolted out, sprinting across our lawn. My brothers, fueled by adrenaline and the protective fury of siblings, chased him. They ran him down the street, all the way to Cherokee Park, but he vanished into the dense tree line like smoke. We called the police again. They took a report. They ran the name Dr. Ramsey. It was, of course, a fake. He was a phantom. 2 weeks later, we woke up to a tragedy that still haunts my nightmares. Our German Shepherd, a loyal dog born on the same day as me, was found hanging from the side porch. The police ruled it accidental, suggesting he had jumped and gotten tangled in his leash. But we knew the knot was too tight, the placement was too deliberate. It was a message. I can get this close. I can touch what you love. After the dog, the phone calls changed. He stopped making threats and started giving status reports. He would call and say, "Your dad isn't home." My brother would lie, "Yes, he is." "No," Dr. Ramsey would chuckle, a sound like dry leaves scraping pavement. "I saw him leave 10 minutes ago." He began detailing the security flaws of our home. He told my mother, "The kitchen window lock is loose. I can pop it with a simple knife." He told my father, "Those French doors, if you jiggle the handle just right, the latch slips." My father nailed the French doors shut that night. He used carpentry nails, driving them deep into the wood, sealing us in. The climax of this nightmare arrived on a Tuesday night. My parents were at an event. My older brothers were out. It was just me, my sister, and my little brother. I was watching television, the volume low, trying to lose myself in a cartoon. Suddenly, a sound like a gunshot cracked through the room. The French doors, the ones nailed shut, buckled violently. The top of the doors swung inward, straining against the nails at the bottom. In that split second, through the gap, I saw him, the silhouette, the shape of the man who had stolen my childhood. The nails held, the doors snapped back into place with a deafening slam. I screamed. My sister grabbed the little one, and we ran upstairs, huddling in the dark of our parents' bedroom. We crept to the window and peered down into the backyard. Standing there, calm as still water, was a figure at the back door. My sister, brave beyond her years, opened the window. "What do you want? I'm calling the police." The man stepped back, looking up at us. In the moonlight, I could see his face. He looked puzzled, innocent. "Is this the Mercy residence? I have a pizza delivery." "We didn't order pizza. Get away." He lingered for a moment, just staring up at us, dissecting us with his eyes.
Then he turned and walked slowly into the darkness. When my brothers returned, they searched the yard with kitchen knives in their hands. The police were never called. We had learned they wouldn't come in time. The terror continued. A week later, my brother was eating cereal in the kitchen late at night. He felt eyes on him. He walked to the back door and cupped his hands against the glass to see out into the yard. On the other side of the glass, inches from his face, Dr. Ramsey was smiling back at him. My brother screamed, turning to run. When he looked back, the face was gone. The next night, my brother was sitting in the living room, paranoid, shaking. I just feel like he's going to bang on the window, like boom, boom, boom. As the last word left his lips, the window behind his head shook. Boom, boom, boom. We were being hunted. The final encounter happened at my school. I was on the playground during recess, hanging upside down from the monkey bars. The world was inverted, dizzying. Then I saw it, the blue Ford Galaxy. It was cruising slowly along the fence line. The window was down. Dr. Ramsey was there. He was waving. He called my name, his voice cutting through the laughter of the other children. I scrambled down and ran to my teacher, hysterical. I was taken inside. The school